Welcome to a special draft review episode of Bengals and Brews. Crack it!
Best beer of the year, as Paul Daner Jr. says.
Let's go! The draft's like Christmas, man. Everything's in front of us. Already a Super Bowl team. Added a lot of talented-ass players. I'm pumped. I'm hyped.
Okay.
How you feeling?
A lot of talented, or... last week on the pre-draft extravaganza, we went like 2 hours. With the amount of picks that the Bengals had, we could probably do this in about 15 minutes, honestly. But we'll try to stretch this and have as much fun as we can. I'm feeling great.
Hey,
I'm ready to rock and roll.
We got great guests. The first
fantastic guest coming up.
Bring him on now. It's our boy, Santori Miles.
Giuseppe.
I was here, but I forgot my chicken wings in the other room.
Oh, I know. I put you in the bag. I was like, he's doing something. Oh, he set down the vacuum, too. He did it.
There it is. It's gone.
House cleaning. I have to clean my cleaning supplies.
We're supposed to also be joined by Anthony Cosenza and Bengals fans. Anthony's running a little late. Shoot, he's been covering the draft all weekend, so
I know.
It'll be cool to get his perspective when he gets on. Our boy Jeff in the chat. Let's go. Woo! And Centauri, Centaurian, Centaur, whatever he likes to. Are you doing hot sauce again? Are you drinking hot sauce again?
You always take a shot of hot sauce.
Shot.
Good luck.
Shot.
Fair.
You're supposed to say, everybody. Anyway.
My bad, dude.
How's everybody doing?
I want to do a shout out real quick, Matty Meyer and stuff for the giveaway we did, and we got a winner, Andrew Bacot, or I don't know exactly how to say his last name, but I'm going to be mailing that stuff out to him. I've already talked to him. I kept the black hat for myself, sending him the orange one, so he said that was cool, and I appreciate that.
That black hat's clean, too.
Oh, I love it. Matty's putting out some fire hats like that white one that Jeff has. Fire. Yeah. Like
I can't do white. I had a white Under Armour hat that I took golfing all the time back in the day. Yeah, and that thing, it lasted maybe a week. I mean, it's got grass stains and everything else all over it, and I'm like,
did this draft finally end? Who is Mr. Irrelevant? That's what I was trying to wait on. Oh, Brock Purdy from Iowa State, Mr. Irrelevant quarterback.
There you go.
Here we go. So the draft is officially over. We're officially going to go to the Super Bowl and win it this year. Mark it down.
Yep.
All right.
Absolutely. I'm hyped. What do you guys think about the draft?
Well, they're looking good.
Yeah.
I loved it, man.
Start at the top. Daxton Hill.
Yeah, I mean, we had him as I think he was 9th on our board.
Let's go ahead and give him his credit. Hey, Derek called it. We'll give him his credit.
Who called that?
We're
Derek,
not worthy.
I'm gonna need you to take a Xanax, man.
And that was the only one.
We're getting into Daxton Hill, let's go ahead and bring on Anthony as well. What's up, Anthony?
Hey.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Good. Sorry for being a couple.
Not as good as you right now. I mean, you got to go to Vegas and you got to enjoy the nice scenery out there. How was that?
I got to pretend to be a bigwig for a little while. It was kind of cool. That city, I don't know if you guys ever been to Vegas or not, but that city was absolutely way more bonkers than it usually is.
And that's probably saying something.
It is saying something. There were some really cool stories personally that I got out of it, and really cool experience. I've never been to a draft, never covered a draft in person like that. So really cool experience. And then to see kind of what the Bengals did, especially in the first two nights, I was pretty pleased with the first two nights. I don't know about you guys, but Yeah, just a wild experience and a fun weekend, and I'm sure you guys had some fun too.
Yeah, Jeff said, "What's up?" Strawberry Ice said, "What's up, Anthony?"
Oh,
So,
Iceman, the Iceman.
our dude, our boy.
We was just about to talk about the first round pick, and I had to gloat a little bit. That was out of all the guys. I said, I don't think the Bengals will do it, but that is one guy that I definitely wanted. After watching
He said
him
it over
whoop up,
and over and over and over.
We're aware.
After watching Michigan beat up on my Ohio State and watching him kick our ass, I definitely thought that he would be a good fit for the Bengals. But let's get into the first round pick a little bit. What's your guys' thoughts on Daxton Hill?
Can I go first?
Let's go. We'll go you, then Anthony. You, then Anthony.
Well, I think the Bengals definitely value versatility. Just not just that pick, but every single pick in this freaking draft. He's a very, very athletic guy. He can play slot. He can play safety. He can play in the box. He can play sub safety. There's, a lot of talk that he can play outside. And I tweeted this more than a few times, but when you only have one defensive back under contract past 2023, start loading up. You get good because you acquire talent. You acquire the right pieces. You stay good because you prepare for when those guys leave. This is one of those moves. I hate to say it. Some people are going to be leaving. Not necessarily talking about Jesse Bates,
but
you never know.
Good chance.
But you never know who's going to be here in 3 years. I know he's going to be here in 3 years. Load up on talent. It's versatile talent. It's freaking fast talent, and he's a playmaker. Yeah. You can never have enough DBs. You can never have enough playmakers. Great pick.
Yeah, Anthony, what's your thoughts?
Are you muted, Anthony?
Sorry. Personally speaking, I was a fan of George Karlaftis, not only because of just the profile and whatnot, but I got to talk to him. Yeah, I got to talk to him there, and just a really, really cool guy. And when he went one pick ahead, I'm like, so personally speaking, I was a little bummed out about that. But like Santori just said here a second ago, I mean, it was like, it's a pick that makes a lot of sense. It's a pick that, you've seen Anarumo once he gets his guys and moves them around and do different things with them, what he can do and what he can create. And a lot of people are going, well, where's this guy going to play immediately? They've already got Bell. They've already got Bates. A lot of people forget about Ricardo Allen and him retiring and how Anarumo used to use that player as kind of a little Swiss Army knife type of player. There's a very similar profile here, I feel like, with Daxton Hill. That's going to be his initial role, I feel like, with the Bengals on defense, kind of mix and match and put him in different matchups and kind of let him play jazz a little bit, right? Let him kind of free range a little bit and make some plays. That's kind of what I see initially. And then, of course, with what I know we'll talk more about the other picks later, but with what they did later on in the draft, they kind of set themselves up. I know it's not the most fun thing to talk about, but they've set themselves up with some contingency plans in the secondary, and in particular at the safety position with, some of these expiring contracts they have coming up next year. So they want to have everything kind of teed up and maybe get a little leverage in the contract game. But at first, after I got over Karlaftis being picked right before him, I really liked the pick, and I think it makes a lot of sense. And you saw a theme for the most part, especially on the defensive side of the ball, a lot of high-end athleticism, a lot of speed, a lot of versatility out of those players.
Right, and to kind of go with what he just said, I was really wanting some kind of a pass rusher like an Ebiketie, and there were a few guys sitting on that board. And when we didn't take one of them, I was like, oh my God. And I was just like, it wasn't necessarily a dig on Daxton Hill. It was just my heart wanted to go another direction. Yeah. And then I've been having to try and fight the good fight the last 24 or 36 hours, whatever it's been, because everybody's like, oh my God, Anthony just said, where's he going to play? Well, we gotta
talk Bengals Twitter off a ledge here.
I gotta say, shout out to my boy Cheeks, Michael Blevins here.
Really quick though, we run 6 DB sets, more than almost anybody in the NFL. I think we had like 1,000 snaps, second most in the NFL last year.
Exactly.
He's going to have a spot, and he's going to play a lot of snaps. This is not a standard defense.
Yeah, I had said, even with having Jesse Bates, even with Von Bell, even with Eli Apple, Mike Hilton. This guy as a rookie will still get 500 to 700 snaps on offense or on defense, easy. And that's not including if he takes any special team snaps. With that speed, yeah, I know you don't want to necessarily put your first round pick on special teams, but I can see him, doing stuff like that. What's your guys' thoughts?
Well, he's a Swiss Army knife. They're gonna find a way to utilize his talent. I would prefer to not see my first round pick on special teams, but if you want to run some sets where you've got like 2 nickel corners, or if you've got 3 or 4 safeties out there. I mean, shit, look what they did to the Chiefs in the last couple games they played them, where they had like 8 defensive
guys
backs
out there. Yeah,
they were running a 3-1-7 or something at one point.
and I think
there's gonna be points that he's used a lot.
I was about to say they were even dropping Sam Hubbard back in coverage a little bit on those too, and he kind of playing the spiral. So
Right,
he'll definitely get some snaps. But going into the Daxton Hill pick just a little bit before we transition to the second round.
Do I even get to speak about it? Like, shit, I've been trying to be patient. I've been waiting. I thought I'd get a chance to at least get my opinion.
To me. You were supposed to be nice to me, so I guess that
this is what happens when I'm nice to you. Show. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What? Being nice to you is just not talking because I can't do it.
Exactly. No, but I was just going to say, you guys were talking about the defensive back versus the edge rusher and that kind of thing. I really thought that the Bengals were in a prime trade back role or spot for that, and I thought that they would do it because I thought, like I said earlier, that was the pick. Dax Hill was the guy I wanted, but I didn't think the Bengals would do it. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Hey, Dale, what are you thinking?
I'm allowed to speak now. Thank you, sir. No, I was with Anthony. Like George Karlaftis, I just fell in love with the thought of it. A couple days before, because I didn't allow myself to think he would fall, and there was just so much smoke leading up to it from national guys, and I'm like, okay, we got a real shot to get Karlaftis. The draft's going. I'm like, oh, he's right there.
Yeah.
So he goes off the board 1 pick before, so it broke my heart a little bit. But Daxton Hill was the guy I would have taken. He was the best available guy there was, in my opinion. Like, I had 3 players above him, one of them being Andrew Booth, but that injury history was so extensive that I had said on Strawberry Ice's show on Thursday, I said I wouldn't take him in the first round. It just worried me too much. It gave me John Ross vibes. So,
anytime you
and I had Nakobe Dean, which also injury history, and Malik Willis, who's a quarterback. Obviously, we weren't going to take a quarterback. So we took best player available, and that's what you should do when you're in the position the Bengals are and you're a Super Bowl contending team. All right, let's add Mike get his thoughts before we move on to the second round.
Real quick, Iceman asking if I got a deer today. It's turkey season, not deer season, but anyway.
He didn't get a turkey either.
I did not get a turkey. Bengals fans, what's your thought?
On a first pick. We're just now on the first pick, Daxton Hill.
Yep.
Oh, I came just in time.
Yeah, if Derek would ever, Derek's talked about it for 4 hours because he had the pick. So
I loved it.
Missed nothing.
Dax Hill's a great pick just because of how the board fell. George Karlaftis going 1 pick ahead of them, Kyer Elam going to the Bills. It's like in a vacuum, like if I thought it, it's like, I don't know, B or so, but like because of who was there, it's probably an A is one of the best picks you could make, and they didn't make a reach. They didn't reach for I think Gordon's good, but maybe they just didn't like Gordon, but they didn't end up taking Cam Taylor-Britt at 31. They took him at 63 where he's a value.
Yeah.
So I'm into the pick.
Yeah.
Now everyone's scared to speak.
I'm eating.
Hey, that's the whole thing. And it's really hard to say. In my opinion, I give obviously I love the pick, but I give it an A just because I personally think as far as the board goes, that was the best value at that pick. So I think I don't think you can necessarily give them a lower grade because in my opinion, that was the best player on the board. So if it's the best player on the board, I'd say you got to go with an A. But what's your guys' thoughts as far as grades go for that pick?
I guess I'd go B plus, A minus. Personally speaking, I mean, I think it made a lot of sense. Here's the thing: I think a lot of people, and I get personally caught up in this too. I mean, you want your first round pick to be like, hey, this is a guy that's going to play a lot of snaps for you immediately, right? We're talking about the Bengals who just made the Super Bowl and they just went all in free agency on the offensive line. They've made a bunch of acquisitions. They're not a team that needs a guy necessarily to come in right away and play a boatload of snaps right away. I'm not saying Hill will or won't play a lot of snaps right away. You can find creative ways to get him on the field, but I think we have to take this. I think Mike kind of touched on it a little bit there. We have to kind of take it into perspective, not only how the board fell at that spot and how the board fell later for some of these picks, but also in what position the Bengals are as a team coming off of last year, coming out of this free agency period, because they are in a lot better of a position as a roster and as a team than they were the past couple of years when you needed these first round picks, these second round picks to come in and play a lot of snaps and be impactful right away. So I think it makes in that regard, I think it makes a lot of sense for the team for future contingency plans in the defensive backfield. And also immediately speaking, you can kind of have fun with this player, right? You can put him in a lot of different matchups and do a lot of different things with him. And he may not get a boatload of snaps right away, but like I said, I really see him fitting into that Ricardo Allen role initially, and then maybe growing into a bigger one as the years go on.
Well, and I think that's why Twitter's kind of on fire right now with that pick, where they're not super in love with it or where they weren't. I think they've kind of talked themselves into it at the moment. But when you have a good team, and this is how Super Bowl teams always end up picking, you typically don't have a whole lot of holes. You don't have a whole, especially if you're a young Super Bowl team moving forward. Your picks aren't going to be the sexy Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase picks. You don't need that. You've already got all that shit set aside. So what you're looking forward to is you need to, bolster the roster, secure it, get some depth. They're not going to be these sexy, splashy moves. There's going to be a lot of backup pieces. There's going to be some developmental pieces. There's going to be guys that, quite frankly, you might not see for a year or two. But guess what? When you have some of these other guys leave, because bad part about being good is you can't keep everybody. You already have the next man up. And then you're not into a situation where they were a few years back of, oh shit, we lost everybody. What are we going to do? You've already got that plan taken care of. That's why this draft was so important.
Yeah. And that's one thing that it's for a fan base that absolutely loves Von Bell, absolutely loves Jesse Bates, and loves what they bring to the team. It's really, really hard, I think, to say, okay, these guys might be the replacement, but you don't want to go into next year not having those guys in case something happens. Do we want to sign them? Yes. Do I think that Jesse Bates will ultimately be signed, or Von Bell? I think one of the two will definitely come back, hopefully both of them. But if they don't, I think you definitely want to have those guys waiting in the wing.
All right. I give the pick an A, in my opinion, because like I had said, I thought he's the best player available. I thought anytime you take best player available and you're picking all the way at 31, and it's a guy who's going to have a good role on your team, and I think he has Pro Bowl potential, it's an A. So we ready to move on to pick 2?
Yep.
Yeah.
So surprising thing, we traded up twice this weekend. That's probably my most surprising thing. Let's go ahead and start with you, Mike, and we'll just kind of go around the clock. Anthony up to Santori, and then to Derek.
What kind of clock do you read, Dow?
The one that says I'm going with the guy below me, and then on the side, that side, and then all this, whatever. I'm trying to find out some undrafted free agent stuff on my phone right now. Okay.
Cam Taylor-Britt, I've watched one game, but I came away. He does my favorite thing that a corner does, is why I love Kaiir Elam so much, is that he's patient. He's really patient. He's got good ball skills, and he's got straight line athleticism. And those are 3 things I'm looking for. I think he's got a little bit of his change of direction. He looks like he's not perfectly balanced, and sometimes he's like stumbling out of his breaks, and he has a little bit of false steps, which he actually mentioned in an interview. And I thought that was really open and honest. And I was like, wow, that's cool. He's just mentioning one of his weaknesses that I actually saw. His eyes can be a little more disciplined, but he's a 21, 22-year-old guy in college. So it all gets better. To me, love the pick. Trading up, whatever, because I think they gave up a late 6 for it. And honestly, we see who they're picking, and I don't know any of these guys that's got these late 6th, 7th round picks. So, I mean, maybe they end up being good, but to me, if you really love Cam Taylor-Britt and you didn't like Martin Emerson, or you knew you wanted a corner, giving up a flyer special teamer to go get him, that's fine with me. So I really like that pick.
Quick timeout before we go around the clock. We just signed our first undrafted free agent, and I have no idea how to pronounce his name. Wide receiver out of Coastal Carolina, Javon Healy. I don't know.
Man,
Something
Bengals
like
were
that.
all over Coastal Carolina this
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
season, weren't they?
66 receptions, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns last year. So
all those guys, and then didn't Isaiah Likely go to Coastal?
yeah, I mean they've had
Go for him.
they had a generational renaissance over in that team over the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's some talent coming out of there. You never know.
Yeah,
That's,
I've seen a lot of
like
people,
the first one.
A lot of people had a draftable grade on him.
Yeah. Real quick, I just want to say something. Speaking on Cam Taylor-Britt, we are almost to $20,000 raised for the stem cell treatment that the CJ Knight needs. That I don't know if y'all saw the post that he had. So if we get some people in the chat to donate and they end up getting over $20,000, we'll do a Bengals and Brews t-shirt giveaway live on air.
I thought you were going to say you would personally match if we could raise. You would personally match $20,000.
Yeah, no, I don't know about all that, but
now you're putting them on the spot.
Yeah, we will definitely give away a Bengals and Brews t-shirt.
Or a t-shirt.
Live
20,000 or a t-shirt.
Yeah,
one or the other.
A t-shirt, one of the two, right? But yeah, they're at $19,836 right now, so it's darn close. So let's see if the Bengals community can get them there. But yeah,
right. Anthony, thoughts on Cam Taylor-Britt?
Yeah.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Again, it's just athletes, and I think what kind of plays into what Mike was just talking about a second ago, and I kind of wanted to talk about it with Hill, but it plays nicely here, I guess, too. If you look around the landscape of the league, right? Teams are collecting wide receivers. They're collecting talented pass catchers at the tight end position. They are loading up on offense. I think selfishly we look at it and we say they're trying to emulate what the Bengals created last year, right? In some regards. Right. But you look at that and, you know, the Bengals have their top 3 wide receivers in place. They have their quarterback. They spent all kinds of money and resources to get 3 new starters on the offensive line. So now this is where you go, okay, let's get guys who can cover. Let's get guys who can run. Let's get guys who are physical on the defensive side of the ball. And now as these teams are playing catch up with us, presumably in a lot of different regards, loading up on offense, we have some of the weapons and some maybe developmental guys. Again, they may not be guys that get boatload of snaps right away, but they got guys that can counter what other teams have done this offseason. And as the AFC has loaded up in a lot of different ways, you know, you look at these types of picks and you go, that makes sense. That makes sense. I like the profile. I like the speed. I like I mean, just everything. And Zach Taylor right away, right out of the gate, as after the pick was made, he said he's going to compete at outside corner right away for us. Right. So that's the plan. You know, the Bengals, we all kind of saw outside corner, whether it's developmental and work behind Eli Apple, compete with, or what have you. That was a need. And they got, I felt really good value with that pick there. And so, you know, those first 2 picks, I really liked them. I thought the value was there, and I thought that it matched some. I mean, their needs aren't desperate needs, as we know, but it matched some long-term need, and I like both those picks.
Can I just copy and paste everything I said for Daxton Hill? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, honestly, it goes back to what do you have? What do you not have? How do we keep building forward? And then you look at the way the rest of the league is shaping up. Everybody's building an arms race. Well, it's a passing league. So you're either going with the pass or you're trying to stop the pass. One of the bigger faults with the Bengals last year, as much as a lot of people don't really want to admit it, is there were times where they really struggled trying to slow down the pass game. Now, what you have is you have an open competition at cornerback 2 with Cam Taylor-Britt, Eli Apple. I think Taylor-Britt probably has a little bit of a leg up, being that he's younger and he's one of their guys that they drafted, and that Eli's on a 1-year contract and he's kind of a jackass. But beyond that,
come on, I love Eli. We love Eli in this household.
Okay, you can love Eli. He's all right, and his mouth gets him in trouble.
It's
But-
just Twitter. Just take his Twitter away. He'll be great.
Okay. Anyway, with that being said, it's a good pick. It builds depth. It secures the roster. You don't have that was kind of one of the holes, if you really want to call it a hole that they had, is that they could use some more depth and maybe create a little bit of a competition for the number 2 corner. And I think they got really good value. I know there's some people in the comment section saying that they had a 3rd round grade on him. Well, it's the back end of the 2nd round. It's not like this was pick 34 and they reached for somebody that had a 95th spot grade. I think we had around a 70th grade on him. They took him around 60. That's not really a reach. That's right there.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's a 3rd round grade on him and just trade back 1 pick and right
You're
there
in the
you
3rd
go.
round.
You're in the 3rd round.
So no, I think it's a great pick, great value. There was not a single reach in this draft, in my opinion, and I know there's a couple people who think there were, but I thought they did a great job.
Real quick before we continue, going back to Dax a little bit, when you were talking about Cam Taylor being in position to compete for that starting role, do you think Dax Hill, has a potential to compete for either Von Bell or Mike Hilton or one of those 2 spots right away?
I don't think he's going to take any of their jobs. I think he might get some time if they need a play to come out, or if someone's hurt, or if there's a rotational situation. The year after this year, depending on who comes back or who gets cut, sure.
Yeah.
But this year, I think he's kind of going to be. This is how I envision him. I think he's going to kind of be like a Tyrann Mathieu. I see him playing all over the place. I see him in the nickel. I see him coming off the slot. I see him sub-package linebackers, dropping back at safety at times.
Giving everybody breathers each and every snap.
There's not a thing you can't really do with him. He's utility. Do I think eventually he'll have a lockdown spot? Maybe, but Tyrann Mathieu never really had a lockdown spot. I know his position technically says free safety or strong safety or wherever you want to look, but at the end of the day, you can't really game plan for those guys. Think about like Troy Polamalu. He's kind of everywhere. That's kind of where they're going to place him. I'm not saying he's going to be that level, but that's kind of how he's probably going to be used. He's a great blitzer. He's great in the box. He can play outside. He can play in the slot. I don't see him taking anybody's job, but I see him being a fun toy on the defense.
I got nothing else to add. You guys nailed it with the Cam Taylor-Britt and all that. So
and
what do you think, Dale?
Oh, I'm allowed to speak again?
No. That was a tease.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I called it on Jeff's show. I said I was hoping Roger McCreary would be the guy that fell if we didn't take a corner in the 1st round for my 2nd round guy. But I said I could see Cam Taylor-Britt. There was a Nebraska connection, and there was also he's a team leader. It's the culture that Zach Taylor's been building this whole time. That's been very important. Captains, team leaders, good character guys. They like to get those guys in here. I love it. I love the pick. I give it a solid B just because, talent-wise, I had him one of those, fringe 3rd round, top of the 3rd round. But you can't complain when you're picking at the end of the 2nd, like Santori said. So I thought it was a good pick. I think he'll come. He'll play special teams. He can come in, compete with Eli Apple. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
So we ready to move to the 3rd round then?
We have another signing.
Can you pronounce the name this time?
No. I can't.
Wow, they're killing you.
The long snapper for Pitt, Cal Automatis.
Clark Harris or nobody. So
he's got better hair than Clark Harris. I'll say it right now.
I don't care about that.
There's no way. There's no way.
Blasphemy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He has some
You may have
God
to get
flow.
off the show, dude. I don't want to be associated with somebody that makes statements like that.
I'm
just
telling
saying.
you, it's going to give him a run for his money. He has got some serious flow. He's looking like Amadeus or Hercules out here.
Wow.
Oh, man.
3rd round, Mike. We'll swing it back that way. Zach
All right.
Carter from Florida. I'll just speak real quick that I personally was like Perry on Winfrey. So I had to just say nothing for a minute before I spoke on it because I do like the prospect, but my guy didn't go, and everyone always gets upset. That's kind of the draft. But
Yeah, I was kind of upset just because I watched Perry and Winfrey and I didn't watch this guy. So I was like,
Hold on.
I know. I was.
Time out.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm horrible.
no, shut the fuck up.
We signed another
My
one.
turn.
We signed another one.
Okay.
And he's also from Coastal Carolina.
Oh my gosh.
We got
Good
their
Lord.
running back, Shermani Jones.
Don't
All
interrupt
right.
for some bullshit. If it's somebody cool like Justin Ross or Carson Strong, or
Their
something,
signings are signings.
shut the hell up. Mike, continue.
You know what? Fine.
So I don't know much about Zach Carter. I know some people hated the pick. Some people think he was a value. I know that in Ace Boogie's thing that he does, he was like the most likely 3-tech to go. And I was like, all right, makes sense. Once I saw 280 pounds, he played on the edge. I was like, yeah, Bengals love him because he's a big guy, big guy on the edge. So I get it. He's a versatile piece of that can move probably going to stay pretty tight to the tackle, but either inside or outside of him. I like it, but I haven't watched, so like I don't really have too many opinions about it. Just like, all right, this makes sense. I thought they wanted to go to this position, and this guy looks like he fits. But I was rooting for Winfrey just because I watched him already, so it would make my job easier to just be able to use those clips.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nobody likes to have to do more work, right?
Yeah.
Anthony,
I like the pick in some ways. I mean, it was a little bit of a surprise. There's some of the bigger names, like we mentioned, especially if you're looking at 3-tech or whatever on the Bengals draft board. I was a little surprised by this. It just wasn't really one that I had truly on the radar. If you actually look at some of the clips of him, I mean, he's got the build of a really athletic guy, from what you can tell, and kind of like what Mike said. He played some edge, and then you can kick him inside on some passing situations if you wanted to do that as well. So, again, versatility. That was like the key of this draft. Versatility, athleticism, speed, all that kind of stuff. That's what they valued. That's what Carter brings to him. And, probably wasn't the guy a lot of us, I think, pegged for this pick. Probably wasn't my absolute favorite, but I think it does make some sense for the Bengals, and it gives a guy, he's not the same build, he's not the same player as a Cam Sample, but kind of you can use a guy like that where you got him on the outside a little bit, you can kick him inside occasionally and get yourself some help that way, I think. So I think it makes sense. Just probably wasn't the guy that we all would have jumped up and down about at that spot. And then you saw I didn't Winfrey go in the fourth, early fourth as well. So that was a guy that you kind of would have gone higher than a Carter, but did not. So I think the Bengals kind of, and other teams had a little bit of a similar viewpoint on those players there.
Yeah, guys like that, and Nakobe Dean falling, players like that, it makes you wonder. Now we heard what happened with Nakobe Dean, but Perry on Winfrey falling, did we hear anything on that?
No, all I heard, the only things I kind of heard was maybe a little limited against the run, right, Mike? You probably know better than I. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Oklahoma didn't give a crap about playing against the run either.
Right.
So
Right.
they had him rush the passer from nose tackle. And it was like, I mean, all right.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead, Santori. It's your turn.
Are we good with me to talk again? I pouted. I went away. I came back. No, I mean, I feel like I'm just going to echo Anthony this entire time. The key to this draft for them was getting guys that they trust, moderate to really good production, guys that fit what they want to do in terms of versatility. I think he's kind of just going to do that role of like Hubbard and Sample, kick inside, kick outside, another just rotation. There's a really good key to pass rush, and it's to have multiple bodies and keep them fresh that can all do different things. You never know where they're going to come from. So I just think it fits what they want to do. He's an athlete. He can play multiple spots. I hate when people say, oh, he's a tweener. Well, I like tweeners, man. They can play anywhere.
Whoa. What'd you say?
You like
It
what?
cut out at
Tween.
the beginning.
Wieners.
Oh, okay, I
He
got
said,
you.
"I like wieners." For,
Wow.
No, that was I literally when they was talking about him, and they had mentioned tweener.
You're struggling now.
Yeah, Sarah asked me, my wife asked me, she goes, "What's a tweener?" I said, "It's literally a versatile guy that nobody likes. If they don't like him, they call him a tweener. If they do like him, they say he's versatile." And
Yep.
so that's what my thought on him.
Just to add something, kind of to talk about these last three, the first three picks that we've kind of talked about a little bit. One thing that kind of came to mind, and I was thinking about not only after the picks were made, but just kind of leading up to the week is, if you guys remember in the Marvin Lewis era, there was a lot of rigidity on the roster in terms of what players they picked and what they could do and what they were specified to do. It was like, okay, you're going to be a 4-3 edge rusher, and that's that. You're going to be a nose tackle, and that's that. You're going to be an outside boundary corner, and that's that. You know what I mean? And they've picked guys, going back to this versatility thing, and I've just been thinking about it. And this is something that's really changed, not only, I guess, within what the NFL has become, but just in the Zach Taylor era with the Bengals, is they just look for players that they can trust to do a lot of different things, kind of jack of all trades players in a lot of different spots. So, and I think this draft class kind of exemplifies that to some degree.
Well, Zach's had a couple years to really figure out what he wants to do. Lou's had that same amount of time, and it's very evident what they look for in players. They very, very much value versatility.
Yeah, absolutely. And so,
yep.
Going into the fourth round pick, Cordell Volson. I know there was a lot of people that were upset with that pick. Just because of the fact that the players that were on the board, but I think you need to at least have one offensive lineman in every draft, in my opinion. And for us to get this guy, no sacks allowed in, I think was it just last year, or was it his entire college football career?
I think it was
either one's good. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, either one's great.
Yeah, I think it might have just been this year, but I don't know that for sure.
Okay.
But I will say, I'm seeing that we might have signed Ben Brown from Mississippi. That's a guard center. So that's actually one that, could have been mentioned when you were talking, Santori.
Hey, you told me not to mention anybody you don't care about.
Yeah, I like Ben Brown. I could see him making the roster. I could see him compete with Trey Hill to be that center guard prospect.
This guy primarily played right tackle at North Dakota State. Obviously, we have Lyle Collins, or Lyle, however you say his name. I'm not good at all that stuff.
LC.
We did LC. That's what we'll call him. Talking into offensive line, we did extend Jonah Williams. He got his fifth-year extension, or not extended. We
picked up
gave him his fifth-year option.
Yep.
That's what we did. So if you guys want to talk about Cordell Volson and kind of talk a little bit about Jonah Williams as well, getting the fifth-year option, and your thoughts on that.
We'll start with you, Mike, on Volson. I don't have much to say on it because I was always taught if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So I don't even need to answer this one, but you guys will roll it around.
No opinion. Don't know him. Didn't watch him. I didn't even know his name. I was kind of hoping they'd take a guy that I did. Once again, I watched Jamari Sawyer, so I was kind of hoping that was the pick. So it just makes my life easier. But and finding North Dakota State film is going to be an adventure. But I don't really have much opinion on the pick because I haven't watched him. I do think that by consensus, you could look at Kennard and Sawyer, and those guys are probably higher. But hey, the NFL views guys how they view them. He could end up being great. Anybody being taken in the fourth round, probably developmental piece. So a lot of this comes down to the coaching staff and what they can do. I don't know. I went to Youngstown State though, and they're rivals with North Dakota State, so that kind of leans me towards this is the wrong pick. But maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. Maybe this guy's a good Dakota boy.
Anthony, what's your thoughts?
Well, I was surprised by it. There's no doubt about that. Not a guy that I think a lot of us had on the radar. But here's the thing, watched. I didn't get in front of too much TV time today with it, but I watched that pick being made, and I listened to Todd McShay, and you can say what you want about him and his evaluations of players, but Todd McShay really liked the guy. And Todd McShay talked about, his versatility potentially at the next level. And I believe he's had starts at basically every position on the offensive line, save for center. So, again, that versatility thing comes into play. And from what limited clips I did see, there is a tenacity there. There is a finisher there. I think what you're getting is, a pretty good kind of player, but just with very limited athleticism. And of course, you've got the small school questions, it seems like. So, is this guy going to be, some people believe he's got, the opinions on this guy are all over the map, depending on who you ask, right? I mean, it's like he was either late day 3 value or late day 2 value. I mean, it ranges all over the place. It just kind of, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And I think this was just a Frank Pollock pound of the table for this guy, right? I mean, that's just kind of my view of him. And when you see the tape, you see kind of that glass eater type of thing. And yes, I wanted to reemphasize glass eater because we're not cutting off first parts of words here. So yeah, I mean, that's from very limited, like what Mike said, I gotta see more on this guy because it's very limited, but from clips I saw, there's a lot of finishing blocks and things like that. So I didn't love it, but again, I just envision this being Frank Pollock saying, this is the guy. If you got to get me an offensive lineman, you got to get me one in the 4th round. Yeah. This is the guy I want.
Frank Pollock had the button up on that pick, right?
Seemed like it.
I will add just one quick thing. It's just like, North Dakota State's a small school, but they're basically the Alabama of the FCS. So it's like, they are the juggernaut if you're going to pick a school.
They've won a bunch of FCS titles consecutively or something, right? Yeah.
They're jerks.
Well, I guess I can finally say that I watched somebody on film that Mike didn't, which is a huge rarity. I liked him on film. I had a late 4 to an early 5 on him. One of the things that I noticed, like Anthony said, he is a finisher. He's a little bit nasty. He's kind of like, I would kind of comp him to like Trevor Penning, but not as polished to where he's got that mean streak in him. But Trevor Penning was kind of lack of a term, he was kind of a bitch to where he would let it out when he got beat. This guy actually plays with a controlled tenacity about him. A lot of people threw a fit because when you look at the RAS, they use his combine numbers as a tackle. It's not pretty when you look at that. If you use his pro day numbers, which were significantly better, like they're always a little better, but these are miles better. And then you look at him as a guard, which is where they've said 18 times today that's where he's going to play. He goes from like a 4.5 RAS to like a 9.2. So he's going to be a wicked athletic guard. Little tall at 6'6" for a guard, but I'm not mad about having giant guys in front of Joe Burrow. They've said they really want him to pull. His 3-cone and his shuttle times show that he's agile and quick enough to do that. He probably is a project, but I'm not mad about having athletic guys who want to kick someone's ass on the offensive line.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw it in the chat. Iceman wanted to know what everybody's drinking. Since this is the Bengals and Brews, I did want to say I am drinking get the camera on here, a Braxton Brewery Garage Beer Premium Line. So this is a Bud Light line, but better. So that's what I'm drinking right now. What, Santori, are you drinking the Mountain Dew? You got the Mountain Dew going?
I got my
hot sauce. You got your hot sauce. Okay.
You're just drinking hot sauce.
Take shots of hot sauce during every show.
Woo,
it keeps me awake, man.
Yeah. Wow.
Sans, what are you sipping on?
I could run downstairs and grab something real quick.
And a Mountain Dew.
Hey, if you want to, it's I mean, this is a no peer pressure zone. But
all right, I'll be right back.
Dale's gonna come back with like an entire beer cart.
Yeah. I was going to say, Dale, we all know what you're drinking. Dale's got the great tasting, less filling Miller Lite, and you're on mute. But hey, that's
I have
good
an
too.
ice cold, delicious Miller Lite here, brewed by Anheuser-Busch. If you'd like to sponsor us, DM me, Dale Altman, DM at Bengals Brews account. DMs are always open, and I will accept free beer as a sponsorship.
Don't worry about it for me, guys. Miller Lite tastes like horse piss.
I got to tell you, I'm drinking soda water because do you know where I was this week?
I was going to say,
Vegas.
Do you know where I was this week? Okay. So I need something that's a little more hydrating. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah, you probably drank more this
Yeah,
past week.
I worked hard, but I did play hard a bit.
Work hard, play harder, right?
Side note, Anthony. What was the best place you ate at in Vegas? I'm a foodie. I need to know.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that real quick. Oh, we got Ryan Geist in the house.
Oh, there you go. There was a spot in Caesars that was pretty good. It was open. It's kind of right off the lobby. I can't remember. It's American something. I can't remember. It's kind of a barbecue place. That was pretty good. It's open 24 hours, so that was kind of cool. And then there was a sushi spot. I was staying in the MGM Grand. There's a sushi spot in there. It was they were a little hoity-toity. I don't know if that's a good phrase or not. They were very like, I don't know. It was very elitist. It was very elitist. Yeah. It was like, do you want me to sit down and eat or don't you? But the food ended up being pretty good at that place too. But truth be told, I missed out on like a lot of meals. I didn't hog out on a lot of food. Unfortunately, I was kind of bouncing around a lot. So
no Del Taco, no In-N-Out.
Where I'm at, I get in and out at any time I want.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. I do got to ask this, though. Was there any bets placed while you were out that way? On the Bengals, against the Bengals, against the, you got your UCLA guys.
Yeah, I don't want to say it. But yeah, there was a bet placed. I don't want to jinx it.
We won't talk about the bet, the actual bet. We'll just We'll end
I had
it
an
there.
interview with Trey Wingo out there, which was really cool. And he's now with Caesar Sportsbook, and so we were talking about some stuff. And as I told him, I'm like, I'm a dope. I usually every year go to Vegas and put some money on the Bengals, and last year was just the one year I did not. And I could have won. I could have won a lot of money. I had the feeling about it too early. I'm like, I think I'll go kind of far this year, and I didn't. So I was pretty bummed about that. So I tried to remedy the situation this year on that front.
Anything
every
else
year,
on Volson?
Oh, I think we were on to the next thing. If you had something to speak on Volson,
I already said I just didn't know if we were going to go like.
Yeah,
we had so much to say. We started talking about beer and food.
Yeah, there you go.
That is usually 60% of our show.
But I was just going to say real quick. That's what my wife goes to Vegas every year for her paparazzi thing that she does, and I told her last year. I said, please, I begged her because she was down there in August. I said, please put $100 down on the Bengals to go to the Super Bowl, and she didn't do it. And I'm like, I told her, I said, do you realize how much play money you would have this year when you go to Vegas and cash that bad boy in if you would have made that bet? But that's neither here nor there. I'll have like 37 bets for her to place while she's down there this year, though.
Right. Moving on to Tyson Anderson. Traded up.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming when they traded up. I didn't see another safety as the pick. And, I had nothing against the pick. I was just like, okay, it's probably the writing on the wall for Jesse Bates. Money-wise and just everything. That's how I feel. And maybe the writing on the wall for Von Bell. Whatever. That's business. It happens. But just as a player, I had a third or fourth round grade on him, and we got him in the fifth. So I like the player. He's a damn good player, and he's going to be a dominant special teams player. He plays all special teams. We'll start with you, Mike, on your thoughts on him.
Another guy. I haven't watched him, but I don't know if it's really writing on the wall for Jesse Bates. Maybe if he plays really well, but when you get into this range in day 3, these guys are a little bit more of a special teams pick and a little bit more backup. But when they are type that if they play well, they could steal a job. But to me, I thought, okay, that's probably a Darren Simmons pick, and maybe Lou Anarumo was also very into him.
Yeah. What was Brandon Wilson's draft pick? I was trying to look it up.
I think he was a 5th or 6th.
Was he 5th or 6th?
I believe. Okay. I think I could be way wrong, but I think he was like 203. Okay. I think it started like low 2s. Trying to be accurate.
Gotcha.
6th round, 207.
Very, very close. I was going to say very close to.
Real close.
where this guy was picked at 166 overall.
He's really fast. I think I saw that.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah,
Everybody
I mean,
they picked was fast. That was like a theme of this draft.
Yeah, it's traits, right? I mean, it's just at this point, it's can you get a guy here that's got speed, size, all kinds. You know, he tested. You know, I got to go back and look, but I mean, it's the speed, it's the size, it's all that kind of stuff. And can you harness all of that and make him into a productive pro at some point, whether that's a starter or a rotational player? I mean, it's a 5th round pick, and you try and roll the dice there. And sometimes, I mean, I think that's where George Aloka was picked, right? Wasn't he a 5th round guy, 6th round guy for the Bengals? And so I'm not saying this is the same guy, but they got a lot of mileage out of George Aloka. He was a pretty good player for him for a little while there. And so, you know, you never know what you're going to get here when you get a guy with that speed and that size. And Mel Kiper Jr., when I was watching him, Mel Kiper, he said, you know, you're going to love the traits. You love a lot of things about this kid. The production just didn't match all the measurables all the time on the film, according to him. So, you know, I'll take his word on that too. Like Mike, I haven't really watched much of this kid at all. So, you know, again, it's just traits. They saw the traits and think they can do something with it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Hey, real quick, PFF has teams with B+ draft grades. Buffalo Bills 1, and the Bengals are 2nd on that list. So, anyway, go ahead, Sam. Or not Sam. Was it Sam's or was it Santori?
It was him, but I was just going to mention that that Brandon Wilson, or not Brandon Wilson, George Aloka was picked 167. This guy was picked 166. I looked
There you
it up.
go. Look at that.
He will be George
Sean's
Aloka.
coming up big for me. I love it.
The more you
Making me
know.
look like a genius. I love it.
Marvin Jones. I really wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry, but were we talking about Marvin Jones? Because there was back-to-back picks with Iloka and Marvin Jones in that draft. No, in that draft when we took Iloka, we had back-to-back picks landing him and Marvin Jones.
Yeah,
right. And
was Jones 166 or 168?
166.
Okay. No, Iloka was 166 or Marvin Jones was?
Jones was 66.
Okay. Perfect.
This is how it felt when you were going over the ZDFAs in the middle of talking.
Trying to be nice. Trying to be nice.
But hey, if this guy gives us the talent of either one of those two, I mean, sign me up, right? But yeah, Santori, what's your thoughts on him?
Well, I don't know if it's the writing on the wall for Bates or Bell, because I don't know where the hell he's going to play. I've seen 2 reports now that say that their idea is to put him at linebacker and just be a special teams ace. And I've seen 2 reports that show his weight is up over 220. If he's over 220, that's a thick ass safety and a smaller linebacker.
That's thick with 2 capital C's on that bad boy.
It's a small linebacker or a big safety, and it's that other word that I'm not even going to try and say again because I'll get cut off. But, you know, Darius Leonard plays around 225, 232. So if I'm not saying he's Darius Leonard by any stretch of the imagination, but if their plans are to keep him special teams or maybe drop him down as a box safety, you know, that doesn't affect Jesse Bates at all.
Yeah.
Especially when you're going 5th round or wherever he was taken. Like your plan isn't to replace Jesse Bates with a 5th round pick. Trust me on that.
Right. All right, going to the last pick of the 7th round. Not the last pick. He wasn't Mr. Irrelevant, unfortunately. I really wanted them to trade back and get that pick, but hey, it is what it is. Jeffrey Gunter from Coastal Carolina. This guy, I think out of all the picks, this is probably the best value pick of the entire draft because this guy was, I think he's a top 150 player.
Hold on. Are you okay, Mike?
Yeah. Just
dying there for a minute.
Yeah, just breathe in some beer.
I missed that whole thing. I was reading a little bit about Jeffrey Gunter as we were talking, and I missed that whole thing there. But anyway, Sands, are you good to talk? Are you good to talk about the 7th round pick?
Yeah, but it's the same thing I said for like the past 3 guys where I've never seen this guy.
What value are you bringing to the show?
I love it.
I was asked to come
That's
here.
you. That's you. Every mock draft Santori we did, you literally said, I don't know who I want to pick. I'm like, why are you on here?
You asked me every week, who am I going to take 31? I don't know who the other 30 guys are going to be ahead of time. And I gave you like 5 different picks, and guess what? All of them were wrong. So here we are.
Yeah, I'll assume he's great. Yeah, 7th round guy. Arrow liked him. I assume some other guys liked him. I'll say I liked him. He wasn't a North Dakota State guy that I didn't watch, so I like this.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, it says here he had 12 starts, 41 tackles, 10 for a loss, 6.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 5. It says like there wasn't a whole big write up on him. I clicked on him expecting a huge write up and talking about him, but there really wasn't. So, AC, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat and say I know a ton about this guy, but some things I've read and heard have him, potentially some people had the value a round or 2 higher than where the Bengals got him. So you like hearing that sort of thing. And here's the thing though, with it, I know maybe edge rusher, you would have liked to seen that addressed a little earlier, but you add this guy into the mix, and then now you've got Joseph Osai coming back. You got Wyatt Hubert coming back. You still have Trey Hendrickson. You still have your crew there that you had last year that was productive for you, and you add this guy in the mix, and now you've got competition, a lot of spots on the defensive line, whether it's with Sample and Kareem and all these guys. So they've got a lot of kind of options in the cupboard, so to speak, to be able to say, okay, what's our best, who are our best guys, or if for some reason Hubert and or Osai aren't ready in the spring or what have you, you've got another guy to lean on to take some snaps and see what you get out of them. So I like the idea. I like what I've heard in terms of value for this player, but I also am kind of like, well, you've also got some others there for those who wanted edge rusher to be addressed earlier. You've also got some other players that are coming back and just kind of loading the cabinet.
Yeah, I think we had him close to top 100 on our board. If I think it may have even been 98. And keep in mind, it's not that we create the board just like, oh, I like this guy better than this guy. It's a computer-based formula with a shit ton of stuff that goes into it. And between his production ratings, his Pro Football Focus
and this
ratings,
is the analytical board with Mike and
yes,
Joe and everybody, right?
And between the grades, the tape grades that Mike put in, and ESPN, and that Joe Goodberry did, and his Pro Football Focus, everything that we could scrape together for this, it spat out that he should have been like a back end 3rd round grade. And his production wasn't far off. He was in the 71st percentile for production. I think it was like 70.8, which was a tick behind my Jay Sanders. So, their grades were really close to each other. So if you're bummed you didn't get my Jay, you got this guy, and the computer says that they are 1A and 1B if you're taking them both together.
Yeah. And
so to get him in the 7th round is huge.
Yeah, I was going to say Majay was the guy that I don't know what did he end up weighing in at their pro day, because I know he went to the combine and had all those issues with health. He lost a bunch of weight, but what did he end up officially weighing in at the UC pro day? Anybody know?
247.
247. Okay.
And wasn't he like 228?
He was
when
like
he was at the.
He got sick. Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
dropped like 20 pounds or something. Which, oh man,
Yeah.
that's
And
a serious sickness.
I was going to say Majay was the guy that I was watching all the UC games and everything last year. It's funny because you look at a guy like Darian Beavers and you think, man, this guy needs to be playing on the edge, and you see, looking side by side, him and Majay, it looks like they should be playing the exact opposite positions, right? Looks like Majay should be back in linebacker because he's so slim, but he's so powerful. And I think that this Jeffrey Gunter guy, I think that he has the potential to do the same thing.
Yeah, I had him as a 5th round guy on my board. So, and I'd actually done a write up on him as well. So 6'4", 260, 4'7", 40. Like Those are good traits. You're getting a guy in the 7th round that I think's a 5th round guy. Excellent bull rush, explosive, lacks top end speed, but do you really need that when you're rushing the passer? No. And then the only thing that I had negative, the only thing was like he needs to develop his pass rush moves more. He relies on his bull rush more often than anything else. So I think damn good prospect, especially in the 7th round. I loved it.
Feels like he'll compete with Hubert probably for that last edge spot.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can see that.
Going to bring our guy Iceman on. He wanted to join, so he's
What's
called
up,
me. And
all right, no, we're on Bengals and Brews here, so hold on a second.
Yeah. Caller,
Make my screen bigger.
Literally
what's your
cracking
name?
it on the air.
I was going to say, what's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Iceman, long time, first time,
long time.
I'm so happy to be on your show. I'm a huge fan. You know, I'm like, I really want to get Dale's autograph and arrows. Like next time I see you guys, you know.
yeah.
And AC, I definitely gotta get yours and Sands and Santori. Well, whatever the hell your name is, you don't have Santori on there now. It's Nadel L whatever.
It's Dale Altman spelled
Dale
backwards.
Altman backwards, yeah.
It's been there for like 45 minutes, and no one's
Dude,
noticed.
I made a comment about it
Yeah.
about 45 minutes
I knew
ago that you said something or
You got to
spelled it
remember
different.
this
Nobody
is
said
a.
anything.
I was going to say you got to remember this is a show about drinking beer. So do you really think people can take the time to read that backwards?
Fine.
Other
know
than
I'm
the
not
sober
You did
people.
say something,
Other
though.
than the sober people.
So what's up, boys?
But,
you guys like the draft so far? I mean, I've been watching for a little while. I'm pretty happy with the draft. I mean, I think for what the Bengals where they picked, and I'm shocked that they moved up. That's the biggest one. I'm shocked. AC, you and me talked.
Not once.
They don't move
Twice.
up. Yeah, twice.
Yeah,
AC's been on my show a couple times. They don't move up, and they did twice.
And it's in the second round. When they move up, it's usually like day 3, right? It's
Right.
not round 2. So that was surprising to me. The one thing, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we're doing grades for the class or anything like that. But the one thing that there are 2 things that I wish they got out of this class, and that was someone with some decent tight end potential,
Right.
and some wide receiver that potentially gave them either return ability or just hell, take a flyer on Justin Ross, right? I mean,
They still could.
Yeah, they still could, but
hey, well, just wait a second. Santori might interrupt us and tell us here in a minute.
Yeah, there you go. But
Three more guys have been signed. I kept my mouth shut.
Selfishly wanted a little bit more pass catching ability and or return ability out of the class, but I understand what they were trying to do.
So I had to give a shout out to my seat neighbors here, because Arrow got the first round pick right, and then Dale got the second round pick right. I got none of the picks right, so I just want to put that. So as far as section 158, the seat neighbors were two of them got it right, and one of them didn't even go close, which was me.
Hey, I just want to say that we did a giveaway for the Jackpot Joey stuff. And for the first round pick, what'd you say, Dale? What we have? 40 people?
47.
47 people, and nobody picked Daxton.
No one got it. None of
with
them.
this guy. That's all I'm going to say about that.
So, you weren't entered in the drawing.
But
number
I
one,
was not able to win. I
it's
told
rigged.
Sarah, I said,
you're saying the contest is rigged, so you got all the stuff.
No, I told Sarah. I even told Sarah. I said, "Hey, maybe you want to say Dax Hill," and she's like, "I can't do that." I'm like, "Yeah."
So second,
Anthony,
we
where's your
wrote
hat?
it.
You're
We
wearing the
wrote
wrong
it.
hat. Anthony is not. Anthony looks weird when he doesn't have a hat on. He's got to get his Jackpot Joey hat on.
I know.
He's got that
I'll,
Rico Suave going on.
Oh, something like that. More like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'd call it. I don't know what I'd call it. More like tired hair.
Let's go to an overall grade. What's your overall grade on the Bengals draft, guys?
I'm gonna say that Mike's is incomplete.
Yeah. I'll have a grade for you.
TBD.
I have a grade for you in a week and a half or so.
It's
Perfect.
fair.
I was going to say
Fair.
we'll look out for
Probably the
Locked
best
On-
way to do it,
Locked
honestly.
On Bengals and maybe one of your write-ups for. Are you writing for SI?
Yeah, all Bengals. So yeah,
Okay, all Bengals.
like
Perfect.
almost all these guys we'll
Jeez.
see. We'll have a write up. So
Arrow, you should at least know who your guests are writing for. What the hell?
Well, I couldn't remember.
you gotta guess.
I was going to say I couldn't remember if it was for Cincy Jungle or for SI or so yeah.
I'm just giving
That's
you
awesome.
shit. I mess up all the time on my show, so.
But yeah, let's start with Iceman. Iceman, what's your overall grade?
I put it out on a video I did earlier today. Right now I'm at an A just because I love the versatility.
Homer.
I'm a homer. I am, but I love the versatility that Louis Anarumo has gotten in the defense. I mean, it's what he wants. Is what I call it the amoeba defense. You know, the morphing defense, where he likes guys that can play multiple positions, and that's what they've gotten. So as far as that goes, yes, I like that. And then, like I said, we said here, you guys said on the show, Jesse Bates might be gone. Von Bell might be gone. And we got two safeties that potentially could replace them. I mean, Hill, I'm pretty sure is going to replace one of them. So as far as those go, I like it. The guard from North Dakota, wherever the hell he's from, the guy's got shit in his neck, like Frank Pollock said. I like it. I don't know. I'm hoping he can challenge Jackson Carman. I hope Jackson Carman steps up. So I like that part. So I mean, I like it. I mean, hell, they're picking last in almost every round. So I mean, they did pretty damn good, I think, for where they're picking. That's just me. Dead air.
I was gonna say, Sands.
Well,
do you want to?
For the guys I did watch, I liked it. Like a B plus somewhere around there. For the 5 guys I haven't watched, no real opinion. I did definitely want to come out of this with a tight end, just with some juice. I mean, we were never getting my guy Greg Dulcich, but Calcaterra was there that they could have taken a flyer on late. You know, I know the concussions are a concern, but he's a nice receiving tight end. I watched so many of these tight ends, they didn't even take one. So it's like I was just looking up. I was looking in the wrong places.
Real quick, Sands, how many effing tight ends do the Jets need? They took like all of ours. I mean, seriously.
Oh, between the Jets and the Ravens,
the Ravens,
three freaking tight ends. They signed 2 of them and then they drafted Rucker. How many tight ends do you need?
They're taking tight ends like Infinity Stones, man.
Of all these index cards, a whole bunch of them are tight ends. So I feel the pain.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Anthony, what's your thoughts?
If there's such a grade between B and B plus, I mean, I'm kind of like right there. I feel like B plus is maybe just a smidge. I don't know. I feel like even though it's such a slight variation.
B plus?
B plus. B plus.
B plus.
Yeah. I really like Sans just said, I really wanted them to get some tight end help. I really wanted them to get some wide receiver help just to round out that group a bit there. I feel like they missed an opportunity there. The other thing that I'm not liking, and it's not a knock against the Bengals and how they operated this weekend, but man, the Ravens got themselves quite a bunch of players this weekend in their draft class. And so that to me just is like, oh boy. Steelers was just like I couldn't figure that one out, but yeah. And then Cleveland was they were a mess. The Cleveland was a mess, but I like what the Bengals did. I didn't absolutely love it. I liked it and I respected what they were going to do. And you got to take it for what it is, and that is again a team that is in a much better place roster wise than they have been in the past couple of years. So they're taking some more chances. They're going with traits and athleticism and versatility over. We got to get this guy at this position, I think it makes a lot of sense. So I would go between B and B plus. That Ravens class is killing me, and the lack of a tight end and a wide receiver, whether that's kind of a bigger bodied guy that could help you out behind the top 3, and or one that has some returnability. That kind of bugs me. But otherwise, I understood what they were doing, and I like quite a few of the picks.
Yep.
I think they had a definite plan with what they wanted to do. I always wanted to see what it would look like if we got into a position where we didn't have huge needs going into a draft. And I think they nailed what they wanted to do. They went after versatility. They went after depth. They went after, a very kind of a prototype of player. They went after long, fast, and strong players that just can fit multiple spots. They didn't go after they didn't fall for the shiny toy. They didn't fall for the sexy splashy pick. They just went in and just took care of business. It was nice.
Santori, do you have any rundown on these undrafted free agents that you've been talking about, do you know any of them? Because
Wait, you
the
told
names
him
you've
quiet
been
about this earlier in the show.
No, I'm asking him now because if he knows any of them, because I'm not like none of those names. I don't have anything on them.
Yeah.
I don't have anything on them really. I know.
This is
The-
one of them.
Yeah, Justin Rigg, the tight end out of Kentucky, and then Cochran, the guard out of Georgia. They're both big guys. Again, when they need linemen or big body guys, they go big. When they need something with a little bit of versatility, they go fast. It seems like a very cliche thing to do, but that's what they're going for.
Yeah, I was going to say, to me it seems like all they did was they said, okay, where are we at on our board? Okay, is there green on this guy's RAS? Okay, there is. Let's draft him, because every single guy that they drafted, I mean, when you look up their relative athletic score, I mean, they all look great. So I give it a. I'm partial because of the whole Daxton Hill, so that's swaying my opinion a little bit. So I'll go with an A, a solid A. I was going to say A- because I don't know about the guy, the offensive tackle from North Dakota State, but I watched the thing where he's like, I love the cold and talking about all that stuff, the little video clip there. So he sold me, that's for sure. So I'll go with a solid A.
Cold don't matter when you have an indoor practice facility.
I give it a 10. I give it a fucking 10. No, I'm just kidding. I give it a 9.5, but I still got wood. Little Varsity Blues throwback.
I got you. I knew the reference.
I knew exactly.
Billy Bob. Billy Bob.
Yep, Billy Bob.
I'll give it a solid B for.
I mean,
we're going letter grades, but I still like the 9.5 with wood.
Yeah,
I like it because the first three guys, I like the versatility. That's where I think they did really well there. That's the first three ones. They're able to play multiple positions. That's what I like it so much.
Yeah,
just my opinion. But I am no expert compared to this guy or
I was going to say
this guy or
those guys,
that guy or that guy.
Definitely, the guys in the middle just
definitely not that guy.
Everything we say, right?
Yeah, us two.
Everything we say, just completely ignore it.
Everybody else, they know what we're
I will say that's one of the things I love about our fan base is like we have such passionate fans, and we like a lot of people put in a lot of work. And I mean, Joe Goodberry's got to be at the top of that list on guys that's just like constantly.
Yeah, he said I'm retired.
Fans. I mean, Anthony, you guys are like, you guys crush it. Like, I love our fan base. We got a lot of passionate fans that really take the time to look into stuff.
I got a question for Anthony real quick. How cool was it to hang out with Trey Wingo? I just want to know that. I saw you live. That looked cool as hell, dude.
Yeah, it was awesome. And talked to some other people.
Joe Klatt, too?
Klatt and Jeremiah. And
Jeremiah,
you know who's the coolest guy? And I don't want to take a bunch of time from whatever, but David Shaw, the Stanford coach, that guy is... Dude, that guy is top notch. And I told him after I interviewed him for a couple minutes that I was like, hey, you coach my cousin. I don't know if you guys remember the name Kyle Murphy. He played for the Packers. Offensive lineman, played for the Packers for a little while. And he, dude, Shaw remembered his mom's name, and he recruited the guy probably like 8 to 10 years ago. He remembered his mom's first name and tell your cousin that hi. And I was just like, blown away. Think about how many people that guy meets, right?
Yeah,
thousands.
Just a dude, and he just knows the sport. I didn't really realize he was previously affiliated, I think, with the Ravens in some capacity. And then now he's got the job at Stanford, and I'm an SC guy, but I respect the hell out of that guy, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
it looked like you had an absolute blast out there, Anthony. I was completely jealous.
It was cool.
So cool.
Hey, real quick.
Anthony, since I got you on here, are we going to?
Since I got you on here,
what are you
on here? He's been so busy, we've been text messaging. I'm like, hell, I'll just ask him, like, are you going to be on my show Tuesday?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yes.
Continue with your show.
Hey,
that's why you wanted on here so damn bad. You greedy fuck. No. You self-serving piece of shit.
How else is he going to recruit, Dale?
That's not the. I just figured out we were having a conversation.
While I have you here.
Well, I have you here.
This is what you get within the hour 15 mark. Last week we had hashtag live stream. This week we have Jeff promoting. Hey, we love it though.
It's Saturday, brother. Hey, look, worst he can say was no. What are you talking about? Like, hey, I've been told no before. It's fine. Whatever.
It's the only reason that I love doing this show so much because I get a good laugh out of it at least 3 or 4 times. So that's what life's about, man.
We haven't even had Arrow's farm segment yet.
Oh God!
Hey,
I
listen.
didn't know that was a segment.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
it was a one-timer.
The farm segment of the week
farm
is
segment on Bengals Podcast Nation.
the farm segment of the week. I'll say this: springtime turkey, fall deer. That's all I'm going to say.
Dude, I live in the city. You were hunting. You were killing shit. I didn't know what it was.
Ice, we live like 20 minutes from each other, and I know that. Come on.
I literally have woods behind my house. People go hunting back there all the time. I still don't know what time of year it is that you can hunt stuff. So just saying.
Oh man. Hey, this is what you get with the Bengals and Brews. Sands and AC are probably like, yeah, I'm not coming back on here.
This is awesome. The thing is I need to not be in Vegas recovery mode.
We gotta get him on when he hasn't.
I've had like each one of those beers that you guys had. I had about like too many to count.
All of them.
That's when you go live.
Yeah.
We need to have a Cincy Jungle after dark show. That's live from Vegas.
Anthony, while I have you on my podcast, would you...
Yeah, you want to come on my show?
yeah. You let's start a late night Bengals talk.
Let's do it.
Lord.
Hey, we've done late night with Strawberry Ice, and these two have been on my show.
Oh man. Yeah,
I need guests for my show too. I'll just,
Hey, well, you got him here.
Yeah, you got him.
Everybody go ahead and promote all their stuff. We'll go ahead and do that.
Where's James Rapine? We needed him to come on here too and try to get you guys on.
Yeah.
Mike, you've got the impressive resume. You plug first, Mr. SI.
I mean, just follow my Twitter at Bengals_Sands. If you don't have Twitter or like it, check out All Bengals, Sports Illustrated, anything by Mike Santagata. Film breakdowns and hype videos basically for these prospects.
You just drinking Fireball?
Yes, he just down Fireball. Okay, so we're probably going.
We're at that point of the show.
Yeah, the bars can be open on Strawberry Ice.
We need to keep the farm animals away from Dale at this point.
Dale's probably going live on Strawberry Ice.
There's cows across the street. With a good time.
Dale's going to record Bengals and Brews after dark, but forget to hit the record button. Just yell into a microphone for an hour.
No, Sands, he did that already. He did that already. I'm not kidding.
One time
for like 20 minutes. He goes, oh crap! I didn't hit live. I'm like, really? Like, we had a great start to the show and everything, and nobody heard it except me and him.
That was the best Bengals and Brews podcast we've ever had.
Awesome.
Probably, honestly, because it didn't go out.
Nobody heard it except me and him. We were rolling, man.
Oh man,
Jeff, you don't get to remote anything. We're moving on to Anthony.
It's supper time. All right.
I'm doing some stuff on Cincy Jungle, and then we've got our show, The Orange and Black Insider. It's a podcast. It's on YouTube, all the audio platforms, and I've had some of you on. I got to get the rest of you on the show. So yeah, come on anytime. Open invitation.
Oh, God.
To have you guys on. But just and if you haven't checked out. Yeah, no, not at all. Like I said, just got some cool little interview snippets.
Come on over, Cheeks. Come on over. Sorry, Anthony.
He's trying to promote his show. Shut up.
I'm just trying to fucking party.
Do you want Anthony to come back on or not? Shut up. All right, go ahead, Anthony. I'm sorry.
No, that's it. That's it.
Cheeks, come on over.
Oh, guys, I'm in trouble. My wife just came down and told me to fucking shut the fuck up.
You're in the garage.
Bring her on the show.
Yeah, bring her on.
I'm grounded now.
God. This is the fun we have in Section 158. Just letting you guys know.
Absolutely.
I'm jealous.
Hey, speaking of which, before we end the podcast and everything, real quick, what's your guys' prediction while
He literally said,
while
"Fuck you,
I have you
Santori."
on? While I have you guys on. No, we'll finish that. What's your
Circle
guys'
back around.
predictions for the
2023 first round pick. Oh,
for the night games for 2022? How many?
Well, the
Who
primetime
gives
game.
a fuck? That's for another week. You always bring up dumb shit. You do this every fucking
Hey.
episode, and I promise I won't be mean. And then you bring us some stupid
I'm
shit
just-
that has nothing.
listen,
We're
I'm
literally
trying
in
to
the middle of promoting shit.
You
and then you
expect
start
to be
saying,
nice.
"Oh,
You
goddamn!
expect to be
What's your
nice.
prediction for some dumb shit?"
I'm trying to prolong it a little bit because we're at $19,941 for the funding for the medical and travel.
Well,
costs
hell, why do you
for-
just say that? Hey, people, give us more money so Arrow can get off, okay?
Hey, the
Get off.
fundraiser that they're doing.
I watched you say that.
I came out wrong.
Whoa, we're in the bruised part of the episode anyway.
So Santori has a show with his
Santori.
dad called
Yes,
Rally Round the Natty.
Yes.
Rally around the natty.
And last time I heard it, the sound was much better than the second show. I was
Yeah.
the second
Thanks.
show, you couldn't hear. I listened to about
Couldn't
5
hear
minutes of it,
shit.
and I'm like, I'm done, dude. I texted him like, dude, your sound is messed up. He's like, I know.
You scrubbed that one from the record, though, right?
Nope,
Yeah.
it's still out there. Go listen. I want everybody to see how we improve over time.
That's a great promotion of the show. Hey, your audio sucks, but yeah, I think it's gotten better.
hey, the first show I did, I was in my kitchen. I had a fan in the background, and that was it.
Well,
my first show was horrendous. I'm not making fun of anybody's first show.
So we
No,
bought
mine was terrible.
we bought pretty nice audio equipment. My dad's been wanting to do this for a while, and we went downstairs in the basement, which is kind of like all hardwood, and everything echoed because we didn't have the right acoustics. So then we're like, all right, you know what? Next week we'll go upstairs. We'll go in the living room. There's carpet and couches and shit. It won't be as echoey. And then I was self-conscious because you could hear my fat ass breathing on the mic during the first episode where I'm like, I sound like a dying dog. So I leaned back in my chair and held my mic like this.
I think you were just supposed to put ASMR on that, for the podcast.
And then my dad's like, yeah, we're going to stay further back. Let's get this right. And then when it came through the headset, it sounded fine. And then when we rendered through Audition, it sounded like just absolute dog shit. And I was like, it's already rendered. I don't really know what to do. I don't want to record another 2 hours. So I guess I'll just put it out there.
Yeah,
so then I'm taking like YouTube classes on Adobe Audition and how to use our mixer right for the next 2 weeks. Finally have got it down to where it sounds acceptable. So if you want to feel really good about your podcast, go listen to episode 2 titled Respect, ironically. But no, it's a fun podcast. It's mainly just my dad and I complaining. So if you just want to hear me and my dad complain about the Reds for about 5 minutes, and then we jump into the Bengals for about 45. And then the final 10 minutes are typically just whatever the hell's going on.
Making fun of me cutting grass.
Yeah, we did. We made fun of you cutting grass for about 10 minutes.
Kind of like it's been on here for like the last 20 minutes of this show. Since
Right. That's kind of what it dissolves
I just
to.
turned the whole show upside down when I got here.
Yeah,
And then I
this is why it's
typically
great
make my
to,
dad sing for the final 4 seconds, and that's the outro song.
yeah,
Pick a song, go.
This is why I prefer to just leech on the podcast and not do my own. All these problems.
Hey, Sands, man. Hey, since you're here, anytime you want to come on, bro.
We're on your podcast, right?
Let's go. I got to end this, man. My buddy's coming over. We're going to party.
Oh, wait, we're not
Hey.
doing after hours strawberry ice.
Fine, I'll do that too.
All
Shit,
right,
I'm
let's go, baby.
multi-talented. Let's go.
Oh,
Anthony
Lord.
Sands, you want to jump on? We just roll this over to my channel.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, you guys.
Well,
you guys
I'm going.
have
I'm going on mine next. So
All right.
Oh, you
Hey,
guys-
everybody's doing the
Send me a
show.
link. I'll jump on.
Everybody. You weren't fucking
Come on
invited,
over.
Jeff. Jeff, you
He just
Okay,
invited me. He just
All right.
invited me.
All right, you fucked up, Anthony. I'm just gonna tell you now.
you guys can hop over if you want. I'll send you the link if you want to hop
Yeah.
over. Let's do it.
Hey, send it to me.
Okay,
I'll jump
let's
on.
do
Dude.
it. We'll continue. You don't want that. You don't
Oh
want
yeah,
this,
no. I'll jump on. Send it
Negativity.
to me. I got you.
this chaos.
Oh,
If you don't hate me too much, I'll jump on.
No, all right. We're good. Let's go.
We
Let's
just
go.
need to find ways to
Open
put
invite.
all our shows
50 jump.
together. Hey, this has been Bengals
Hey.
Brew. Thank you for tuning in. Damn good draft. Hoo day. Love y'all. Derek, say something stupid to send us out.
Hey, this is Bengals and Bruce podcast. If you want to cut me out halfway through when I'm talking, that's normally what happens.
Oh, can I plug one thing
I was
really
waiting
quick?
on it.
Shut the fuck up! No, you can't plug anything.
I need to plug
I
one
was-
thing. One thing.
What?
You didn't plug your fucking mouth.
We're going to City Jungle.
Shut the
What are you doing?
Derek, go.
This is the Bengals and Bruce Cop podcast. Everybody have a wonderful night. Good day.
See ya!
That's it. That's fucking weak.